Hi there, welcome to the latest news and updates within the Noah Presgrove case. It appears that Jan Fiorillo has spoken out since her silence on social media in regards to her original offer, which she put up in hopes of garnering some attention, those within the case speaking out. And what ended up happening was there was a deadline 15th of August, but days before that, her post, most of them, were taken down. People online were speculating that maybe someone took the bait, maybe an individual or group have confessed and reached out. But this is what Jan has to say as of right now, posted 8 hours ago. Let's see if any of it is actually true and what's her current thoughts, because the last post that I looked at with Jan, which remained on her profile publicly, was she was highlighting that she's been attacked by people within the case. Does that still apply? I'm going to click on view more and I'll begin reading. You can leave your comments and thoughts down below under this video to let me know what you think. Jan says, first, thank you to everyone who supported the offer effort, who shared all the posts about the offer, over 6,000 times that we can track. Thank you to all who hung posters, flyers throughout southern Oklahoma and North Texas. We are able to get 500 posters, flyers hung out in the communities. I also ran adverts on Facebook, Snapchat, and we had 20,000 plus views and over 1,000 clicks. And finally, thank you all for your kind words, concerns, and prayers. And that's obviously because some people were assuming that maybe Jan has been silenced in recent time or attacked. So just acknowledgement there. You get the idea statistically that Jan's put a form of effort in terms of spreading the awareness and others helping about with spreading it too. Jan says, I am not at liberty to discuss the reason behind pulling the offer post early, so before the deadline of 15th of August. Any participant or participants with an S to my offer would be protected by attorney-client privilege and non-disclosure agreement, confidentiality agreements. My offer was purposely designed to keep my only involvement in this endeavor as strictly a financial sponsor. The offer was set up this way on advice of legal counsel to keep me and family safe, to prevent me from inadvertently becoming a witness and to in no way become involved in or interfere with the investigation of the case. I will continue to do what I can as a victim's advocate for Noah, to include working with a team to ensure Noah's civil rights have been upheld from the moment Ellie and first responders were on scene through to the prosecution or prosecutions of anyone who may have denied Noah his civil rights and his future. More on this later. Okay, so some unfinished business there. Let's all honour Noah's memory and do what we can to keep his case alive and in spotlight until justice is served. So you could read that and think, kind of disappointing, or you can't really infer much from it, but can we look in between the lines and pick out anything of interest? I mean, from the looks of it, there is no acknowledgement that she's been attacked or in danger. That doesn't seem to be a problem there. Being able to speak out about it now must mean, you got the thumbs up, you're able to, you're safe to do so. So that's a positive. So it's good that Jan has been transparent there, but reiterating that her offer was designed to keep her involvement endeavour just as a financial sponsor. Yeah. But the bit where it says, I'm not at liberty to discuss the reason behind pulling the offer post early. So you're not able to at this moment in time. If that's tied in with the agreements, the confidentiality, the NDA, on the basis that if anyone was to reach out and then there was a process to that, that could explain why Jan can't talk about it right now. And for Jan to say any participant or with an S, more than one individual who was to take up the offer would be protected. So she's giving a scenario that they would be protected. The details would be private. It wouldn't be talked about openly. And it just so happens that the offer was taken down before the deadline. And that right now Jan is saying that I can't talk about it. You could put it all together and come to a possible conclusion or an opinion that someone at least did take the offer up and might spill the beans, and then it could lead to new leads. Does anyone else agree with that? Does anyone think that a participant or more than one has taken up the offer? Because if no one took up the offer, there was no agreements, there was no interaction with an attorney or client, then there wouldn't be an NDA or any documents or anything that needs to be signed or agreed upon. It would have just fallen flat, and it would have just ended like that. So there wouldn't have been anything to hide. But when you got something to hide, or more so something that just can't be revealed because of legal reasons, it's because there's something underway or ongoing. Kind of like how it is when it comes to just cases in general, like true crime ones, where it seems like on the surface not much is actually happening, but there is all kinds of things going on in the background that could apply here. Now, I don't know how long it would take until there might be some kind of public announcement of some sort. I guess time will tell. But if anyone has come forwards, I can't imagine it being Caden Pressey, because he's already been talking publicly and openly. It could be another party goer, maybe, right? And, there'll be other people in the background that could say, oh, you can't speculate this and that. Well, there's no harm. The general public have the right to question and come up with ideas in between to fill the blanks as opinions and suggestions only, especially when there is a wall of silence. It is what it is. I said you can let me know what you think down below. As for the comments, we can just get to that. Not that there were any key ones that needed to be highlighted. Most of it was people saying thank you and glad that you're safe, right? Wasn't sure if there was going to be any questions. But Nat says, this message is important for all of us who have been fighting hard for the last months. Read and reread what Jan is telling us. Know his civil rights. In due time, trial procedures will take place, and we'll hear all about the horrors he endured. This is not the end, it's the beginning for the true justice. So this is kind of like the Dylan Rounds situation. At the same pace and time, I don't know. I joined the case a lot later, so it feels more new to me still. But, you found the body, and that was really early on. Cause of death, though, it was treated as kind of unknown or mysterious, suspicious. The location, odd in itself. And the details regarding it and the clothing or the lack of certain stuff, odd. The stories changing, odd. The handling of the case, I guess, could be under review at some point. I mean, did it go in depth with the Dylan Rounds case compared to how it could go here? I think here it could go in a lot deeper, because in the Dylan Rounds case, at first it was seen as, are the LE corrupt? In the end, they weren't exactly corrupt, they were just very incompetent. They weren't connected to Brenner, they weren't looking out for Brenner in that way, they were just very incompetent and lackluster. When it comes to this situation with Ellie or certain members of authority in the area, the community, know one another, little ties with family members here and there or friends of friends, there could be a possible level of corruptness. And I say possible or maybe, not guaranteed, that's just to protect myself. Got to be careful with language and wording, because there's some petty, self-obsessed individuals out there. They'll probably try and silence you as soon as possible, wouldn't they? So got to be careful. It's like with when I see lots of comments online where people are saying, Jack's the killer, Jack's the one, this and that. And, maybe in the end, there's a small chance that people could be right, but I don't like jumping in that way, right? So when I mentioned that quote, Jack, which people have said is the killer, that's not coming from my mouth. That's what other people have said. I was just re-quoting it, okay? And hopefully no one decides to cut these videos out and try and piece it into a different way to change the narrative. As said, Paramount Plus, big documentary channel, ended up doing that to my video in the Dylan Rounds case, cut it up to make it seem like I was saying misinformation when I wasn't. I was actually quoting someone else, and I had full proof of that. But the documentary corrupt Paramount Plus, totally corrupt, fucking pathetic excuse of humans out there. Tried to scream me over. Absolutely pathetic. Should not be happening again, should it? Okay? Let's see what else. Any other comments? Just the beginning. Yeah, so just mainly people saying thank you. I don't know if anyone did ask questions, not from the looks of it. Oh, there's got to be more to it than that. Yeah. Justin Roy, you've been amazing. Definitely prayers answered, I promise you that. So, a lot of people are saying thank you, but not enough people are questioning or, asking simple questions like, what does that exactly mean, Jan? You had to pull the offer earlier. What's this one, Marcy? I was used to reading your post and you disappeared. I'm so glad that you're okay. And Jan says, I will be back. I have some upcoming fundraising events for a few charities that I work with. So there's a possibility that Jan's done a role just for now. Now it's time to cool off a bit, but also focus elsewhere and help other scenarios and fundraisers. That if an offer has been taken up, it was just a financial part, so Jan doesn't have to play a major role within this case. She doesn't have to be tied to all that. As for responsibility, she can get on with other stuff, day-to-day life or whatever. So could you say the job has already been done? Has the ball been set? Is that what you call it? I don't know. The ball's got ready to start spinning onwards. Okay. I completely understand that you can't discuss anything. However, my biggest concern was need to know you're safe. Right, so a lot of people are saying thank you. A lot of people are saying that they understand the level of silence, but I'm not seeing anyone questioning the actual scenario. And I don't mean questioning Jan in a negative way, just the language and wording here, right? Because if I do it for people within the case, I might as well do it to anyone and everyone. And is it possible to read in between the lines? I would say possibly. Okay, but then people were jumping ahead and assuming, concluding that maybe someone has taken up the offer. Jan's done an update since. Not saying that that's happened, but she can't talk about it. And on the basis that if a person or people were to take up the offer, there would be a non-disclosure agreement, so it couldn't be talked about publicly. And Jan's saying she can't talk about it publicly. You could add one and one together and come to the conclusion or reinforce it that, yeah, maybe this is where progress kicks off and this is like a catalyst. We'll see what happens with time. If there are any other events or catalyst, any burst changes in behaviour, any waves of resistance from Jan's post here, those in other communities, locals, whatever, whoever, then that could be another telling sign. Because when there's normally resistance, it's because you're getting closer to the truth. So it'd be interesting to see what those in the background, the dark forces, think about this. Are they wondering, oh, damn, I wonder who could have possibly reached out and taken the offer up? Oh, we better find them now and take them out or silence them. I wonder. It sounds silly, but, the case, the way it's gone and the way some have acted within the case, it has been silly. But equally, there's been some people within the community, more so me being on the receiving end of it, some silly behaviour, some silly claims, some very entitled individuals out there from other YouTube channels that have said that, well, like Raf, you can't be covering this case, you're copying it. Oh, so only one person has exclusive rights to the case? Yeah, back away. Absolute fool. But one just random point I wanted to highlight. I saw one comment recently by an individual saying, the style or the length, nah, not good enough. I think I'm going to go elsewhere and go to another channel which covers this case in a different way. Good luck, Warlight Ref. Good luck? Do I need good luck when I've got over 6 million total channel views, 14,000 subscribers, reaching new milestones with time, and you've got a default channel, default profile with zero contribution to the case? Bitch, are you in a place to be speaking? I don't think so. But, the odd individual here and there that says, oh, I'm going to go elsewhere to a different channel that covers this case. Not good luck to me, but more so good luck to you, because I can guarantee you with absolute ironclad confidence and certainty that I am the only human on this entire planet, specifically on YouTube only, that's covering this case more than ever, almost on a day-to-day basis. There is absolutely no one else doing what I'm doing in terms of the consistency, the frequency, the depth, the questioning, the analysis, the map analysis, the hybrid nature, the little bit of lightheartedness to cut through the darkness too, the appropriate language and wording. No one compares. No one else is doing that. Does that mean that I'm better than everyone else? No, because there are other people out there could be doing a better job or in other ways. So like partners in true crime, they might not do videos every single day, but when they do a video, it is somewhat hard-hitting and it's valuable, such as with the interviews. They've got their expertise and what they do well at, and it works for them. Then I do my thing, the analysis part, that works for me. But if we're talking about the consistency and constant coverage, if people said to me that they're going to go elsewhere, well, it's no hope for them because there is nowhere else that does it like me. Okay, and that's not being cocky, that's not being narcissistic, that's being realistic and honest. If you're talking about as a collective unit, day-to-day updates and discussions, well then obviously Facebook and maybe even Reddit is greater than me. But we're talking about singular individuals and channels. I am the only one. Just like how I was the only one in the Dylan Brown's case. Just like I was the only one on this entire planet covering the Christine Passay Parker case. The only one on a day-to-day basis specifically covering the Kenny Veach case. Okay? And some people could say, does it need to be on a day-to-day basis? You know, quality, quantity, how do you balance it? Honestly, with some of these or most of these cases, more so the true crime ones where it's like an active case ongoing and it could be fresh or it might be long term, it's essential to be doing it fairly often because there is so much going on to try and keep up with it all. It can be overwhelming. So like day-to-day videos or as best as you can, it does help. Because if you did one video a week, that video could be 8 hours long or 10 hours long. It just wouldn't be practical. It'd be too much to digest in one go. And I don't like bulk videos always. Sometimes you can get away with it, but other times it's best laying it out, separating it, making it very sparse because it's always much easier to find after when you search for specific key terms and words, right? So I thought I'd just add in some additional comments there in regards to certain humans in recent time. But that aside, credit to all the people that have shown up recently. And of course, last night, honestly, I wasn't expecting that many people to show up because, you know, the thumbnail, the title of the video, I thought it was a bit, you know, basic quality, but there wasn't any other way I could word it or customize it. You know, it is what it is, but it gained people's interest and looked into it, shared their thoughts. So obviously that's good to see. Credit to Cleo, shout out for their support last night and anyone else in between and the recent members too, 2 individuals specifically, one with a green profile picture, welcome. And then the other individual, I've forgotten the name, but a female, very good of them. So with that all being said and done, let me know your thoughts below regarding what Jan's had to say. Is it eye-opening or is it disappointing? Are you overwhelmed, underwhelmed by it? And keep an eye out. There might be another video coming later. I'll just see how it is for time. But thanks for watching anyway. Goodbye for now.